Now let's talk a little bit about work boundaries and the challenges that we see. So this is kind of, I always used to joke, this is kind of my disclaimer slide, right? So sometimes when people get out of these meetings, we're like, okay, I'm going to go set some boundaries, which is great. And be aware that it can be really challenging at workplace setting, right? We have to have a pretty clear understanding of the work environment we're walking into. Work boundaries aren't always an easy place to play because we have things such as fiscal security. We have things such as, do I have a roof over my head? Do I have food on my plate? How is my work how is my work contributing to that? All of those challenges in a workplace, it's a very difficult place to play with boundaries. So we just have to have some caution and care and some recognition of the opportunities on the back end too with boundaries. Because boundaries are so difficult is exactly what makes them so powerful. So work is different from the perspective that we're dealing with root survival issues, right? We're dealing with present and future fiscal security, reputation, professional goals. And in caring professions, specifically nonprofits, organizations and individuals that work with trauma, right? There's like this extra added piece where that if I set a work boundary, somebody's needs aren't going to be met, right? So there's also that aspect that we have to be very aware of. So work is a very different place and there's challenges associated with boundaries in that space. The big key with boundary work is really learning to listen to inner wisdom and really learning to connect in, which is one of the reasons why we start with that breathing exercise. Because all of that breath work and all of that connection that I have with myself feeds my work with boundaries. It feeds me not only from a self-care perspective and an energy building perspective, but it also feeds me from an internal inquiry perspective and an awareness perspective, how I access my choice in the moment. That kind of work is the foundation for boundaries. When my self-care and my awareness is strong, when I have energy and when I have choice, boundaries naturally arise out of that space. That's not to say that there's not tools to learn how to communicate boundaries a little bit more effectively, but the need for them is super clear. So the other thing that we think about when we look at boundaries is at home and at work, there's opportunities in both places, right? If I have boundary challenges in the workspace, it's more than likely I have some boundary opportunities in other spaces too, simply because I'm the same person. Right? I'm going into my work environment and I'm going in my home environment, and I'm the same person in both places. So when I work in boundaries, either location, it trickles over, which is a good thing.